Testing. All right. Another mic test successfully completed. Hey, everyone, or whoever won, or no one at all. How are you doing this fine evening? By the way, if you've listened to any of these early podcasts, you'll realize how unbelievably unprofessional I am, right? I mean, I would think so. I'd be like, hey, that guy really doesn't give a shit about his show, does he? Okay, well, there's a reason for that. Okay, it's not that I don't care. It's not that I don't realize that uh, planning the show ahead of time is way better than just doing it on the fly like I'm doing right now. Because pretty much all I do to prepare is I'll write down some bullet points that I want to cover. I do this throughout the week so that when the day comes, you know, I got them there, and that's it. That's pretty much all the prep I do. That's nothing, right? That's um, that's like right next to completely unprofessional, I think. Because I'm not writing anything out. I'm not like seeing what I think of it beforehand. Like, no, this is shit. No, somebody might take this wrong, but you know what? It's because I do believe in this one little bit of advice I heard a while ago, which is that for your first 100 episodes, it doesn't even fucking matter. Just take it as practice to get better. After the 100, that's when it really counts, you know? So I think maybe that's why I've been doing it this way. Because I know that I'm recording this for no one right now. Like it's there. It'll be there. So after the 100, if somebody wants to go back, it's there. So it's not like I'm completely not going to fucking try. Like I'm not going to go I'm not going to take a phone call. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go to the bathroom and be like, I'll be right back. Because, I mean, if I have to, I could just pause the show. I'm not going to like leave it in dead air. I mean, I could do that, right? Like, I'll have a brain fart throughout the show many, many, many times. I'll um, I'll fuck up what I was saying and I'll say it wrong and I'll have to re-say it because I know I said it wrong. um, but I figure that's just comes with the territory of being an individual, I guess. Um, I didn't go to I don't have a degree in communications. Um, I passed a debate class with a B. Had a shitty teacher, but I felt I deserved an A. I won most of those debates. That's why. Um, I got an A in speech class. I think I did. I did exceptionally well compared to some of the other people there. Um, yeah, I wouldn't have minded continuing some of those classes. They were kind of fun. Actually, yeah, talking in front of people, writing out a report and then talking it out, timing it. Like if the assignment was talk about this or whatever, and a topic, like whether it's something you really believe in or even a comical story, but make it last 10 minutes. I would do that as best I could. I mean, I never rehearsed it. I think that would have been the best thing to do, but somehow it all turned out just fine. Okay, so let me look at this thing I wrote out about the entire week, the bullet points. I still don't know why, but I get a little nervous, you know. Um, I think anybody that's not used to being on camera or having a microphone in their face, knowing that this is going out there for anybody, right? To listen, to scrutinize, to misinterpret. um, you would think since the fall of man with Facebook and YouTube and all the other shit, uh, everybody would be used to it by now. Except, obviously, that's only being shown to a small group of people. You could argue, well, this is being heard by absolutely no one. And I know that, and that does ease the pain a bit, right? But there's that potential, and maybe that's what makes me feel a little nervous with the mic pointed at me. Um, just drank a bunch of coffee, so that was a mistake. No, it wasn't. What am I thinking? I gotta pee. I'll pause broadcast. The podcast. The opposite of broadcast. Can't even remember anymore. But I saw I saw a video podcast, which is probably what I should be doing. Except here's the thing with the video podcast. I want to feel free to voice my opinions on things. I will not refer to myself as woke because that's fucking stupid. But I will say that my eyes are open. I've been exposed to a lot of information that is kept hidden, that people aren't allowed to know about, and if they know about it, they need to believe that it's complete garbage, that it's a total lunacy, right? Can't think of certain bits of information as being real. You have to think that this is just what stupid people believe. And if you dig a little deeper, you find out why people believe in certain conspiracy theories, then you start to realize how real it really is. Like it's not fantasy, it's not stupidity. There's actual reasons, and you never get those reasons. You never hear about the reasons. You always just hear one side. These complete idiots believe in this because they're stupid. And you never hear the other flip side, like, well, why? Why do they believe that? You're supposed to believe that it's just because they're idiots. But how does that even make sense? Well, because they're stupid, they decided to believe in something stupid. You see, that's how it makes sense. No. No, that's, um again, do you think the schools tell you everything that's true? I mean, was Napoleon just talking about stupid people when he said that history is a fairy tale we agree on? What the fuck does that even mean? And if we know that there's corruption in groups of people in power, the government, sometimes there's corruption in there, or there's misinformation, withholding of information, manipulation, fraternities with weird rituals. Dig a little deeper there. It's not fake. And but I get it. I mean, if you're the type of person that might say like, well, I would rather think on the bright side of things than to focus on negative stuff. I get it. I agree. I don't think people should focus on anything negative. But here's the thing, that just because it's not pleasant doesn't mean it isn't real. Doesn't mean it doesn't affect you and the lives of the people you care about. If you don't expose yourself to the truth because it's ugly, how will you be prepared for it when it affects you? It was my birthday yesterday, and one of the people that sent me a message to say happy birthday was my ex, and I thought that was nice. I thought that was nice of her, and I don't know why. I guess I was feeling a little stupid, probably, but I think I do know why. Um, it was Saturday, right? So my daughter wasn't with me. She was at her mother's, and I don't know. But when I'm with my daughter, it's the best. You know, I feel like I'm not missing anything. I'm a dad. I'm with my family. My daughter's my family, and I'm happy. I feel great. I feel like every moment I'm with her has purpose and meaning. You know, I'm always trying to show her the right way of doing things. I'm always trying to be an example. Um, I'll 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 teach her how to play the piano, how to play the guitar. I'm actually uh, teaching her to read music using one of those. God, what do they call them? Do they call them a recorder? It's like a flutophone. It looks like a clarinet, but like a toy clarinet. It's really useful for learning to read music, I think. That, and I've been playing a harmonica for her since she was a baby. And so when she got old enough to play it herself, she's been playing it ever since. But I don't know how to play a harmonica. I would love to. I love that harmonica sound when when you know how to play it really well. I think that just sounds amazing. And I've seen a few videos on YouTube, and it seems extremely complicated because it's a lot of tongue action, and it seems kind of dirty. You pretty much have to be licking the damn harmonica at all times, right? Because you're going to be sort of, I don't even know how you do this. I might be completely wrong. It seems like you cover up some holes with your tongue while you're blowing into it, and ta-da, that's how you get the different notes. It, uh, that sounds so friggin' complicated. And then, I mean, whatever. I'm sure it would be worth it. I guess I just have to constantly be cleaning that thing. Uh, Other than music, I'll I'll meditate with her. She'll do yoga. We'll take turns on the treadmill. I just want her to feel comfortable with exercise. I don't want her to become one of these kids, like so many kids, or like I was when I was a kid, that just gets so comfortable with the easy shit. I mean, my parents were extreme liberals. It's so weird because they're from a very old fashioned culture, but like they rebelled, which reminds me of something that Carlos Mencia said in one of his stand-up comedies. He said like, the people that left their country to go to a different country they're not from are pretty much the crazy ones. They're the ones that said, I don't speak their language. I don't look like them. Um, I don't I don't know their culture, but they pay you more over there. So I'm just gonna leave everything I know and go over there. It is actually a little crazy, you know. And yeah, I guess you got to be a certain level of rebellious to just sort of say that I know this world my entire life, but that one over there pays you more, so I'm just gonna go over there. And there's definitely a price to pay for being so impulsive. I think if you're gonna do that for the right reasons, like money, don't throw yourself at it chasing the money. Be well prepared. Otherwise, everyone's gonna have an eventual downfall. And I think the downfall was that my parents didn't know what the fuck to do with money. they um they were so used to this poor lifestyle, and when you're poor but so is everybody else, you don't really feel poor, because you pretty much have just enough to enjoy life, which is uh, family gatherings, um, kickbacks with friends, um, parties, uh, hanging out with friends. Uh, Not that much, It's not really a culture that's oriented towards extravagance, because there's barely enough, and you got to work for that barely enough. So when you're not working, you're just sort of trying to have a good time and trying not to become a pig about it. In the United States, you work less than other places and you get more. So on the surface, it looks so much better, right? And I think it is. I think it is a lot better. But there's a lot of room for messing up. If you didn't grow up in that culture and you grew up in a different culture that has you always working and barely earning enough, well, the transition might result in overspending. You feel like you have so much money, everything is possible. Don't worry about it. We got money. It's fine. Let's get every fucking credit card that comes our way. Everybody says, why pay money when you can just charge it to credit? Sure, get a car, get a house, get every shiny object on credit, to the point where I don't know why, but I think they sort of only knew how to live in that barely having enough, um, that they kind of made that situation happen for them, even in the United States. Even working less and getting paid more, they still never really seem to have time for anything else. Just the way they grew up, just like it was back home, you know, they never really had time for anything. So my family and I never went on vacation. They took me to Disneyland. In my mind, there's only about twice, two times. Yeah. I went, no, 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 no. My mistake. Three times with my family. Um, I went once on a school trip, went two more times um, on my own. I mean, with friends. But we never went camping, fishing. Um, we never went anywhere just to get to know a new place. And it was always the same excuse, the same song I would hear for anything. There isn't enough money for that. And they would constantly spend, constantly. Which is why the debt was always there. My father was constantly spending on cheap clothing, and sometimes not so cheap clothing. Um, and he loved getting a ton of stuff on sale. So, oh, and they were hoarders as well. So it was just horrible. But I get it. I mean, uh, they had a ton of siblings, so their parents never bought them new stuff. Everything was a hand me down, and they hated it. They said it was extremely embarrassing for them at school. So um, my mother got used to that, and she didn't care. And my father was traumatized by it, and so as soon as he could afford it, he started buying himself clothing, and he loved the feedback, the positive feedback he would get from people because of that. So he just kept doing it. And now that he was, for a lack of better words, poor people rich, um, he didn't know what to do with that. He just felt like, well, I can't afford the really big, great stuff. So I'm not even going to think about that. But I can afford a lot of little things. Ah, boy. I want to end that there because I really don't want to shit on my father. They're really imperfect people, but they're my parents, they're my family, and yeah. I didn't use the nasal spray today. I wanted to. I completely forgot. Or I would remember and just not do it. So now my nose is stuffed up. Oh boy. Sometimes I feel very dumb. And I wonder, is it something in the air? Is but I don't think I'm the only one that's going through this. Hell, if anything, maybe I'm better off than most because at least I can notice it. I notice it in myself and I notice it in others. People are just making like the stupidest mistakes. And it's not just like a failure to remember something trivial, but like really big things. Um, and I wonder to myself, like, is it the school system? Because the school system has always been stupid. It's always been about programming people to be codependent on the system and not independent, you know, like teaching people how to grow plants, how to take care of animals, make clothing, make a house, find water, clean water, etc. So many things to help people live. Not at all. It's always been about how you see this fucking paper? This is special magic paper. That's what you need. You need to find somebody with a lot of this and work for them. Be at their mercy. You know, get paid by the hour, which, in my opinion, doesn't really work because, from my own experience working minimum wage jobs, employers get some kind of a tax break or some shit like that if they hire more employees. They get to say, like, well, I have 20 employees, I have 100 employees. I don't know. And they get some kind of a tax break from the city. But the fucked up part is when they have that many employees just so they can get their little tax break, there's usually not that many hours being given to all of the employees. Some of the employees will get the short end of the stick and have, like, I don't know, 5 hours a week or something around that figure, and it's just stupid. Who the fuck is going to live on a schedule like that? Especially like in one of these insanely expensive states like California, for example. What if you're getting fucking 5 hours a week, minimum wage, right? Which is like, what is that, $15 an hour, something like that? Um, you're clearly going to be fucking homeless on that kind of salary and hours. Yeah, you would have to live at a halfway house. What if you don't have family, extended family? Yeah, I don't know how people are supposed to live on that. I guess, yeah, that's the only thing I can think of. That's the only solution that comes to mind. You would really not be able to own anything at a halfway house. I think you would get food stamps, but I believe you have to surrender your food stamps to the halfway house. Um, what a shitty life that would be. I mean, I guess you would just have to hustle like crazy and try and find more work. I did know a person once. It was a young lady a long time ago, and she lived in a poor area in California. And like I said, getting very little hours, you're not going to live on that, not at all. So she said, so she hustled. She found herself three different jobs just because there's so many shit, crooked employers that love getting those little benefits from the city from hiring a ton of people. They later on can't even afford to give them decent amount of hours. So yeah, feels super duper fucking stupid. I think there is something in the air. I wonder if it's that that element called barium. Is it called barium? Ba, I believe, is the symbol, the chemical symbol for this thing. Barium and aluminum. I don't know what the metals do in your body. I know that if you have too much metals, your brain's not going to function very well. Isn't that hilarious that the Satanists even encoded it into the fucking elements? Barium and aluminum, which aluminum, I believe that's Al. So therefore, ball. Nice. Good one. Um, I eat cilantro because I've heard that that takes the metals out of your body. It's an antioxidant for not an antioxidant, or maybe it is. I don't know. I just know that that supposedly gets rid of metals in your body, so that's great. And I'm assuming it's not the metals you do need, like iron, but the ones you don't need, like aluminum. As for barium, Jesus, don't just kill them, barium. Um, I don't know how you get that out of your system. There's so many different fucking poisons in the air and the food. Oh man, Eh, it almost it's not fair. Obviously, it's one thing when you tell somebody you want this might happen. It's one thing when you tell somebody like here's healthy food, but it doesn't taste like tacos and pizza with ice cream and Oreos and yada yada, everything else that's unhealthy soda. It's one thing to have that choice, right? And it might not even feel like a choice for some people because maybe they grew up as children with parents that were a little too busy to bother to realize that, my kid is getting morbidly obese. I wonder why that's happening. Mom, soda, give me a happy meal with a double cheeseburger and what- the hot apple pies. I used to love those. Um, yeah. So I try to feed my daughter as healthy a diet as possible. Um, I don't ever encourage indulging in stuff like soda, ice cream, candy, um, junk food, basically, you know, or fast food, processed food. I understand the convenience of it, but my kid is way more important to me to just give her that shit just because it's easy. So I cook for her. Um, Kids and people in general, obviously, human beings, we're children for a very small period of time, and during that time, your brain is developing, and I'm obviously it never stops developing, but I mean physically, it doesn't reach physical maturity until around the age of 25. Which, by the way, I mean this is a fact, right? It's academic. You can look it up. Why the fuck would the government, which I would have to assume is run by people that know what the fuck is going on, know the truth of things, why would they claim that at 18 you're a fucking adult? Does that make any sense when your brain hasn't even physically finished developing until like 25 for men, maybe 23 for women? Nope. So, yeah, I don't give a shit if an 18-year-old is legally an adult. I think anybody that, you know, has their fucking eyes open knows that's not really an adult yet. Like, apparently, they can go have sex legally, they can become soldiers and die for their country, but they can't gamble. They can't drink alcohol or have a cigarette. And I'm not for them getting drunk and gambling and smoking cigarettes. I'm just saying how stupid it is. Well, you're old enough to decide that you can lay down your life for the country. Even though I think anybody that studies war history, isn't it the result that we were always the bad guys in everything? That no war was actually about what they claimed it was about. It was always about acquiring something from the other side, whether it was establishing a federal bank or stealing some artifacts from their museum or I don't know, random stupid bullshit that we were never told until way after the fact. I think that too many people were fooled into agreeing with the age of 18 being considered legally an adult, but it's not. Really isn't. Even at 25, I think it still takes a few years to really get a hang of having this fully developed brain, physically at least. I think of when I was a kid and I heard stories from the Bible, and I heard that in the time of Jesus, or whatever his real name was, I keep hearing so many different things: Joshua, Yeshua, Adonai, uh, Isa, Iesa, so many. Whatever his real name was, because I do believe in Jesus. I just don't believe Jesus or Jesus or Jesui was his real name. And I think he must have been a king. Um, I don't know. I had a conversation with an Orthodox Christian, and I hate hearing this that all you need is to believe in Jesus. And I understand, but I don't think that Jesus would want you to only believe in him and do nothing else. Like, don't defend yourself. Um, don't work hard to accomplish anything. Don't care about nothing. As long as you believe in Jesus, you're fine with that. I think that might probably be the Satanist's way of fucking with the good guys, right? Because apparently you're absolutely fine as long as you believe in Jesus. And I think that you should believe in Jesus, but also do something about it. For example, if your body is the temple of Christ, God, it's your vessel while you're here. Keep it healthy. Exercise. Maybe you can't do every exercise. Well, if you can walk, that's good enough. Uh, what you put into your body, right? Research the food. I think it's too easy to believe we know what we're eating because we've been eating it since we were kids and we get used to it, right? Like I remember many, many years ago when it dawned on me that ketchup isn't actually made from tomatoes. It's just some kind of a red food dye paste, sugary red food dye with a picture or a drawing of a tomato on the front. But it actually doesn't taste anything like a tomato. I mean, you can bite a tomato and then have some ketchup and tell me if there's anything anything similar there other than, well, a tomato's red and this is like dark red. So no, it's not the same. One's an actual piece of food and the other thing is an excuse to make money. And most processed food does the same fucking thing. It pretends to be something it's not. How is that legal? Well, you might feel confused unless you realize who our leaders really are. I'm telling you, look up the fraternities, research them. They've printed books from a long time ago that'll tell you everything. It connects to everything that's going on in the world today with the whole Paris Olympic ceremony shit. I mean, come on. Don't listen to what they say. Words are just wind, right? The wind, I mean, will blow away all these words. They don't matter. Look at their actions. That's the truth. You don't need to hear what they say because they lie. Oh, well, we made fun of Christianity because we wanted to be inclusive, you know? So we're including them. It's so stupid. So stupid. Or even the assassination attempt on Trump, the so called assassination attempt. Boy, I wonder what that kid would have said. I don't know. Sometimes I think I shouldn't say certain things because obviously if there is a team, a group of people, and I think it's many groups, but they're basically the head is just one. It's just their tactical way of keeping people confused. And even if they found somebody or the entire group, they would always just put the blame on one person. That's what they always do. Nope, none of us. Just this guy. Sure, he happens to be a member of this group, but they didn't know nothing about it. And since, you know, these groups are the ones in charge, it's not that hard to make a phone call, let him go, accept the statement as fact. Okay. I think that if the bad guys are real, So are the good guys. I think that if the periodic table of elements is based on facts, even if I wholeheartedly believe it is edited, there is a bunch of information that is being withheld, more than likely some elements as well. But what we do have, what we can see, if it's true, then everything has an opposite, right? Proton's opposite is the electron. And if there's bad guys out there, there's good guys as well. If there's groups behind the scenes trying to do evil and corrupt, there's this got to be another group that's doing the opposite, the good guys, trying to help, trying to defend. Maybe that's us, whether we like it, whether we realize it or not. Maybe it's us, the people that point out the inconsistencies when things aren't right, aren't true. I don't know that this helps anyone. I hope it does. I think that life is a choice. Choose the easy way or the hard way. And if the bad guys are in control right now, then obviously the easy way to get through life would be to follow them. But it won't be a righteous life. It won't be a good one. It'll be a life of hurting people and allowing people to be hurt. Now, some people are short sighted. Some people couldn't beat anybody in a game of chess because they only see what's in front of them and not the possibility or where we're going eventually. There's too many stupid people out there that hurt others because they don't care about anybody except themselves, maybe, or they had a life where they didn't feel anybody cared for them. And so they learned to get by like that. And by default, they ended up not caring for anybody. But maybe one day they fall in love, or maybe one day they have children and they want to be the parent that they wish they had. That happened to me. I don't think I was ever a bad person, but I was definitely stupid and I was definitely possessed by a bunch of demons. I mean, I didn't live a very healthy lifestyle. So, if you know anything about parasites, you know they're fucking demons. And if you don't know about parasites, look them up. Those things are real and they always do the same thing. They take over the host and they force them to self destruct by becoming aggressive and making decisions that lead the host towards their own death. Now, while I'm sure that you won't find it easy to discover information of parasites in humans, um, I think what you'll find when it comes to human possession by parasites will be very minimal, like only certain parasites, whereas the majority you'll only see references towards when they inhabit like different kinds of animals. But even with that, you'll still see the same pattern. They control the host. And they go for the three main areas they go for is the your intestines, because there's neurons there. That's why people say they have a gut feeling. Trust my gut, because yeah, there's neurons there. There's neurons in the heart, and of course, there's the most neurons in the brain. So I figured, I was thinking to myself, like, I don't want to be afraid to say certain things because even if I'm canceled, even if I get kicked off of a platform or whatever for voicing my opinions, for exercising my First Amendment right, because now you can silence people by saying, no, that's not a First Amendment right. If it's hate speech, well, I think it's pretty convenient when you can just shut someone up by saying it's hate speech. What if it really isn't? You know, what if it's just someone's opinion? I think it's really, really telling when you're not allowed to have an opinion that goes against the uh, the narrative, or there's certain people that you can't say anything about because now you're a bigot. And there are certain groups that do questionable things. I mean, they're leaders, not all people. Usually, when we're referring to a people doing something bad, it's not the actual people; it's their governments, their leaders, the people in charge of those groups, or the people that represent those groups. That's usually 100% of the time where the bad guys are. In every race, in every country, I don't think there's an exception of of a race or a country where their leaders are squeaky clean good guys. I don't think that they were voted in. I think that that's a farce that started a long time ago, and it makes sense if you think about it why the farce would have started in the first place, right? You make people think that they're the ones that are choosing this. Oh, well, I mean, I didn't want this, but I guess most people do. And then you just don't fight it, right? Put your guard down and you think, well, I don't like this, but I guess if that's what everybody else wants, even though there's um, a ton of things that don't make sense. Like, for example, giving a small group of people extra rights special rights and privileges over the majority of people. That doesn't make any sense. Now, I think the news, television media is kind of used to hide the truth more than anything. It's not really exposing the truth, it's serving to hide the truth because it'll shine a spotlight on what they want to shine a spotlight on. And then it'll broadcast that widely, make it feel like this is what everyone wants, when in fact it's just a small group with a big shiny light on them. I thought it was a little strange that it was many years ago, um, I was learning about the gay culture, for example, and I was seeing it everywhere to the point where I felt like, wow, I guess a lot of people are gay. That's what I thought. I thought that this is just a natural progression because of whatever X amount of reasons. And all these changes are happening because there's a lot of gay people. And I looked it up just to see how many people are gay now. And the results I got, according to the statistics at the time, were like 2 or 3% of the people in the United States are gay. It's a lot more now, but I just couldn't believe it. It was like, wait a second, this doesn't make any sense. I mean, I'm a Star Trek fan, and I've always believed in the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few. So how does that make any sense? Unless they wanted to go in that direction. They wanted to push this narrative and wanted to promote it as much as possible in order for it to grow, possibly. I mean, that makes sense, I guess, if somebody has some hidden agenda where they don't want actual gay people to just be gay, but they want to create more gay people. And okay, yeah, I guess if somebody wants to be gay, that's their choice. You know, I get it. It's fine. If I think about it like, if I was a gay person, do I want less gay people or more gay people? I would think more, right? People like others who are like them. So it makes sense. And that's fine. So far, nothing sinister there, or, you would think. But recently, it doesn't seem to be as innocent anymore as just trying to grow their numbers. It seems aggressively um, insane, like mental disorders level nuts. And I don't think it's even the gay people anymore, right? Because I've seen some of those videos where they're like, "What do you think of what's going on right now?" And gay people are like, "Yeah, that's a little too much. That's going pretty far." I mean, there's videos of clownish looking, like demonic, um, uh, 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 I guess, gay people. Um, they're like in drag, but their makeup doesn't look normal. It just looks like they're trying to look demonic. I saw one of a clip of someone I want to say a guy, but I don't want to go out of my way to upset people. But yes, a man in drag and his hairdo, his wig is just littered with a bunch of horns, and he's in a like a children's classroom. I guess he's like reading to them or whatever. That's horrible. That's horrible. While on one hand, I can see how it makes sense that if you're a gay person and you want more people to be gay, but being gay, are you born that way or is it who you're sexually attracted to? And if it's just about who you're sexually attracted to, why do you want to be defined by your sexuality? And I know there's so many clever ways to turn it around, like, well, you don't understand because of this and that. I mean, you've never been. Okay, I get it. But these children, they're not your children. Don't you think that maybe their parents should be allowed to choose? And I mean a real choice, not, oh, yeah, they get to choose. Do you want to be, open minded and let the children be exposed to this drag queen man, or do you want to be a bigot and not allow it? Like that shit from what was it? I think it was a South Park episode. You don't hate children, do you? You're not. Just add horrible uh, titles. You're not one of these people, are you? No, no, of course not. And everybody's just afraid to actually tell the truth. It's pretty messed up. It's a messed up time to be of any religion. I think. I mean, I especially Christianity. Oh man, it's so fucking surreal. It's trippy. I remember being a kid and thinking rebellious thoughts, and of course, I thought rebellious thoughts when it came to Christianity, just because so much of it is a cult, and then the other half that isn't a cult is misunderstood just because we're being fed total bullshit in school, quite possibly simply so that we will not believe in what we read in the Bible. It's like, yeah, but it's nonsense. It's stories that people came up with to explain what they don't understand. When in reality, that's the actual nonsense. The Bible is very literal. We have no idea, most of us, because we're being taught misinformation on television, in schools, from our own friggin' families who don't know the truth. And it sort of seems like the smarter, supposedly smarter, academically smarter your parents are, the more fucked you probably grew up. My parents both graduated from medical school. I should have an awesome life because of that. And I didn't. And my parents right now are living off of very little money. I mean, they live behind some guy's house. So, yeah, they. I don't think anybody's ever going to blame them for being very smart. No offense to them, you know, and my family, and I love them. But somebody lied to them a lot and kept rewarding them for memorizing misinformation. They kept seeing rewards that blinded them from reality. Always remember that there's two types of information, right? Two types: subjective and objective knowledge. I can't remember which is which. I think subjective is nope. I can't remember which is which. I could ask my robot, but you can look it up. One is information that you've collected firsthand. The other is information that you did not collect firsthand, that didn't happen to you, that you aren't the sole receiver of this information because you lived it, because you saw it. Somebody else told you. In school, for example. And it's just too easy to manipulate that kind of information. Whether it's willfully or because it's part of human nature as well, you know. It's like I've seen this parodied um, where somebody witnesses something and tells their friend what happened or what they saw. Then their friend tells somebody else who tells somebody else, and by the time it gets to the 10th or 20th person, the story has nothing to do with what it did originally, you know? It's completely different because people will forget or misinterpret, misremember. I mean, that can even happen to the first guy that actually was there and saw it himself, and maybe in a week or a month he adds a detail or he changes a detail or he forgets one. How could anybody trust schools when they're never focusing on what people actually need? Ever since when was it, like in the 50s or something, when people were like becoming overweight and they said, "Oh, well, it's the fat that's doing it. The fat in the food. That's clearly the culprit cuz duh, if you're getting fat, that's cuz you're eating fat." Good one, USA. And the culprit was actually fucking sugar. Oh man. Oh well. Can't can't let ourselves get Depressed by that. Aw, man. So I've ranted my way across the finishing line once again, as usual. Not really saying much, just. Oh, gosh darn it. All right. Well, I'm going to take this brief moment to talk about my sponsors. Shit, I wish. No, I'm going to look at my bullet points and just try to hit them a little bit. A little bit. Let's see. I saw podcasts by Jordan Harbinger. He was interviewing Todd McFarlane. How fucking awesome! I would love that. I would love that. Except I I would fanboy out. You know what I mean? I wouldn't know what the fuck to say to Todd. I might bring up that, hey, you remember that time at the San Diego convention? Was it? Yeah. When I was talking to you about a Spawn sequel, and then after that, I was like, "Hey, could you give me your autograph?" And then you just grabbed it like I spoke Chinese for a moment, and you're like, "Oh," and you just walked away. Oh man. I mean, I kind of get it. He was he already had a scheduled time to be signing autographs, and so I was in one of those conference rooms where they were talking about, I don't even remember what, and they had just finished, and so a lot of fans were like going up to, I think it was an Image reunion, not even sure anymore. A lot of fans were talking to all the Image guys, and Todd was by himself. And I mean, as great as I think all those guys are, Todd McFarlane's always been like the guy for me. I mean, I collected everything Todd McFarlane toys, and I had the first 100 issues of Spawn. I loved the movie. I loved the HBO show. So yeah, I was a big Todd McFarlane fan. And so I went up to him and started talking to him, and it was awesome. Loved it. And he has the the nicest, most sincerest smile when he's looking at you. I mean, it was awesome. I loved it. But then I guess I said the wrong thing with the whole "Can I have your autograph?" Which, by the way, if he wasn't behind that signing table, uh, he was. It's like up on a stage and then a signing table. I would have totally wanted to take a picture with him. I mean, I shook his hand. That was it. And I talked to him for a bit, very briefly. Um, but yeah, he should have straight up said to me, like, well, actually, I'm going to be signing at this time. Why don't you come on over there and I'll sign it for you. I would have been like, okay, that's great. Instead of that, he just like, and walked away. Um, I would bring that up. I would bring that up just to see what he says. I mean, I don't mind. It's fine. It's fine. Just broke my heart, but that's fine. Yeah, I wouldn't know. Other than that, I wouldn't know what to say to Todd McFarlane. I mean, okay, I would bring up dun dun dun. It would piss him off if I brought some shit up, I think. Because I would want to bring up Alan Moore, Neil Gaiman, um, maybe some other of the big name writers that he's worked with, like Frank Miller, Grant Morrison, and who else? Brian Michael Bendis. Um, Maybe I might mention Robert Kirkman. Um, Not sure. I might bring up the whole ending to Spawn because he said a long time ago that he knew exactly how he wants to end it, but well, now that Spawn is at like issue 350 or something like that, I'm not sure. Is he going to do it anytime soon? Is he just going to pass it on somebody else like Batman and everything else? Um Honestly, what I would love to happen with Spawn, but I mean that's completely up to him, is to see this character redeem himself and not be Hellspawn anymore. You know what I mean? Like I would love to see a complete 180. That's what I would do. I mean, I do have a comic book story that I just keep procrastinating and never finding the time for, but I wrote it. I wrote the blueprint many years ago for Nadir and Zenith, which I guess is pronounced correctly Nader, but that's stupid. And my character has a growth arc. My character, like Spawn, has incredible powers, and I wholeheartedly believe that power corrupts. But I think if there's a part of you that is good, you eventually come out the other side, or at least you hopefully come out the other side. I don't think that people are perfect snowflakes, right? I think that just like I heard Reggie Watts mention briefly in his song about apples, that it seems to be important to know that dark side as well, so that you're not just good for the sake of being good, but you know why you're doing it in the first place. I think that good people that have always been good have a lot of darkness inside of them that they kind of justify because they believe that they are good, and therefore it's okay to be blindly bad, right? Like these are usually the people that are like for the death penalty. I'm not, and no, not at all. I'm not for the death penalty. I think that even if there are bad people that do horrible, horrible, bad things, killing them is not going to make it any better. It's not going to fix what was done, and it's not going to balance things out in any way. Um, Everybody likes to use the example of, well, what if they killed someone in your family? I would hate them. I would hate them, and I'd want to I'd want to kill them myself, but I would know that it wasn't right, and that having some big brother government do it for me wouldn't help me in the slightest. Wouldn't erase it. It wouldn't undo it. So I'm just not for it at all. I think it's stupid. I've been playing Paper Mario, the Thousand Year Door, or something like that. It's cute. It's very, very, very cute. It's a lot of reading. It helps that it's funny. It's very similar to the RPG one. Uh, uh, uh. For my birthday, I got myself a second monitor for my computer. So when I'm doing the Twitch streaming, I don't have to go downstairs to use the PlayStation. So I think that's kind of cool. And also, maybe I will stop being such a friggin' procrastinator and actually get to work on my writing. Um, if I'm not doing it off of a little laptop screen. So the screen I got was 27 inches, and it's great. I love it. It's perfect. I'm very happy with it. It has a 100 hertz. Is that how you say it? Hertz. Refresh rate. It's a gaming monitor, so that's pretty cool. Didn't come with a remote control, which I'm so used to all televisions coming with a remote control, but I guess it's technically not a regular television. It's a gaming monitor, but whatever, it's cool. So I like that. Um, I haven't really exercised it. I haven't really used it since yesterday. I just sort of plugged it in, tested it out. It works. I'm happy with it. But I'm supposed to so upstairs it's like my office. My bedroom is basically like my office. And I had to like remodel stuff and move stuff around, and I'm still not done with it. Uh yeah, because instead of doing what I had to do, I Twitch streamed for 2 hours for the first time, just because the robot said that the standard of of Twitchers is 2 hours. 2 hours is the sweet spot, so I did it for 2 hours, and it was kind of fun. It was all right. I was playing Dead by Daylight, and I bought the camera, the PlayStation 5i, and shit didn't work. I think I was gonna get it to work, but then I was like, oh man, I can't get it to work. Never mind. Maybe I could have gotten it to work, but I don't know. I'll do it later upstairs because I was playing downstairs anyways, which I didn't really like doing because the camera, the wire isn't long enough, and so the angle was kind of weird. So, oh well. But I got to play Dead by Daylight, and that was pretty fun because I tried out the Nicolas Cage character, Chucky. I got to try out the two killers versus eight survivors. That was fun. It was weird. It was I don't know how to describe it. It was a lot of fun, but I only did that one time. Um, it was yeah, no, it was very new. It was fun. There was always somebody to capture to get. I think I would like to try that again from the survivor point of view. I think I did one time also. Yeah, as Nicolas Cage. But I got unalived. Thankfully, this isn't YouTube, so I can say killed. Um, I say a lot. Apologize. Not only do I need to write, I need to start drawing, and I need to do it so that I can sell the comic book, so I can sell my short story, so I can sell the book, so I can start earning some money. Yeah. I would love to have more money just so I could do more for my family, honestly. For me, not so much. I mean, I would love to have a car. I used to have a car, my parents sold it. When you got parents like mine, who needs enemies? Oh well. It's a good thing nobody's listening to this. An hour and a half. Jeez. All right. That's enough. I didn't even get to the female boxing from the Olympics. That was fucked. That was messed up. Oh man. And you know exactly what she meant when she said this was unfair, but then after the fight she backpedals and just goes like, I mean, I'm not saying she should be like banned or anything. Come on. Everybody who's awake gets it. Everybody who's not awake, whatever. What else? What else? Oh, I got myself Photoshop, like the whole package, all the Photoshop. I got a student discount, so can't wait for that. Um, it's only going to last a year, so I better take full advantage of that. And I want to use that on some videos, but fuck, like that's its own homework, But it's worth it, and I need to just fucking do it. I just feel so weird. Um, like the day after my daughter's here, I'm so happy like for an entire day that the day after when she's not here, I just feel like I don't know, it's not a conscious feeling. It's just my energy is gone. I had to take off my dad hat, so to speak, and I feel weird. Maybe it's cuz I love being in dad mode. I don't know. It's all about trying to be better. And I think I am. I think I am doing a lot better since I stopped seeing certain people that were a little toxic for me. I've been doing a lot better. I'm losing weight, getting stronger. Been practicing SR, semen retention. I'm at day number 84, which is awesome. I could tell you that I can work out like crazy and not get tired. Um, if I work out just a little bit, I still get the results. Um, my mind isn't in the gutter, so I get more done than otherwise. So that's great. I can't wait to get to 90 days. Um, I heard, I think his name is Fulati Fitness. I heard him say, I believe that at like day 90, it's another level. You hit another level of I don't know, superpower. So I can't wait for that. That's next week, actually. Or actually, I mean this week. Yeah, this week. When is it? Like Friday? Yeah, maybe like Friday. I don't know. We'll see. And I need to start making a plushie so I can sell one of my characters like that. But I don't even know how to sew, so I gotta learn that. um, Damn, there's a bunch of stuff I didn't get to. Oh well. Oh well. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe talking is getting easier for me. Because I remember the first podcast, I was like, "Ugh," I was looking at the time, like, is it an hour yet? Okay, that's enough. All right. Thank you very much. Love you all. And take care of each other. Be good. I'll see you at the next episode on, I guess, Sunday. Yeah. See you then.